For the best cousin in the world, from Odessa.
Your cousin Chao loves you very much.
Happy birthday. Your cousin Vanessa loves you very much. And I found it with this photo album.
They used to live here. The same thing that happened in China. Everything I want to tell you about the government, I can't tell you while I'm here. So I record the video carefully, making sure no one hears me. I save it to the cloud. I protect it. And once I leave the country, I'll tell you.
It turns out that a friend who lives in San Cristobal wrote to me and said, "Dude, I'm heading down to La Guaira to help people with my car in any way I can and however I can contribute." Great. He spent all these days helping people in La Guaira with rescue, assistance, transportation, and everything he could. When he was heading back to his hometown, which is San Cristobal, he was stopped at the toll booth. When they stopped him, they checked his phone by force. Venezuelan National Guard officers took his phone and hit him a few times. And on top of all this, they took all the documentation for his vehicle, kept him detained for more than 5 hours, and forced his family in Táchira to make a payment of $700. This is happening after people help Venezuelans while you sons of bitches National Guard officers who swore to help the Venezuelan people didn't do it. Sorry.
Sister, there hasn't been a call?
No, but
No.
You can't live like this.
no. If it's something noticeable, if you want to be seen from.
Is he in Venezuela?
Yes.
Where is Venezuela from?
No.
From where?
Mexican.
But it has to be on your phone, okay? Okay, it's fine. Good. He's testing.
Well, you heard it yourselves.
Given the circumstances, this guy was very nice. He was very kind to me. I don't doubt that he's an excellent person, but he's just doing his job. He's following the orders of a regime. And what are the orders? No press, don't record videos.
We're going to divide Venezuela in two. The Venezuelan government and the Venezuelan people. What I'm here to curse and condemn is the Venezuelan government.
Not the Venezuelan people.
They're doing just fine. Well, as human beings, they're excellent people. I have nothing but admiration for them.
The problem is their government.
They're garbage. Disgusting. Nothing in this country works. Not even by Latin American standards. I'm not saying it has to work like Norway or Switzerland. Even by Latin American standards. In this country, the only thing that works is the Venezuelans. The only thing that keeps it standing, that supports it, the reason it hasn't collapsed, is the Venezuelans. The government not only doesn't help them, it gets in their way. They would be much better off if the government said, well, I won't get in your way. They could lift up the country on their own, but they don't do anything themselves and they don't let anyone else do it. We have incredible machines and want to take our family members with us.
How are we supposed to remove this with just our hands, a shovel, and oxen, without even getting a letter or notice?
I'm not allowed in this, and they haven't helped us clear any debris.
Please, what we need from the government is a machine, any machine that can help. We asking, and if we have to pay, we pay.
It could collapse in any aftershock. This one could collapse at any second. That's why it's important to demolish them to avoid the risk of collapse. But we can't start demolishing while there are still human beings alive. Well, let's get started right away. This government is not only inept and corrupt, it's negligent to a genocidal level. The earthquake is one thing, but the first 72 hours are crucial. And during those first 72 hours, they did nothing. They did absolutely nothing. They failed even to do the bare minimum, not even pretending to try. They even failed at that.
Any country would have problems, would struggle with an earthquake like that, given its magnitude. 2 earthquakes at once.
That would be a challenge for any government.
But the next 72 hours, when you mobilize machinery, supplies, rescue teams, those 72 crucial hours to save as many lives as possible. And that's where they failed. They failed everyone who wasn't killed by the rubble, epically, shamefully, and criminally.
They were killed by the lack of action from the Venezuelan government.
It's a shame, a pity, and as an international community, we have to start putting pressure so that the people of this country stop suffering because of the government.
Un inmenso poder político, un inmenso poder militar.
The homeland endures and lives on.
Here is Maduro's disgusting propaganda with his mustache, and here is the total destruction and suffering of our people.
The irony of things. And here are Venezuelans sharing food out of their own pockets with other Venezuelans.
And there are people from all over the world more concerned about Venezuelans than their own government.
This circle sums up Venezuela.
That's Venezuela.
A ridiculous, narcissistic dictator, the total destruction and suffering of his people, the international community concerned. And there are the Venezuelans helping each other.
Like this.
How is it possible that there are more rifles here than shovels? There are more soldiers patrolling than helping.
How is it possible that the government cares more and puts more effort and resources into suppressing those who speak out than into rescuing those who are crying out for help?
If you are a member of the Venezuelan army, forgive me for what I'm about to say. I'm not insulting you, I'm insulting the organization you belong to. The Venezuelan army is garbage, and it's not your fault. You as a soldier do your best. What I mean is that the Venezuelan army is specifically designed to be a mess. It's not based on effectiveness, but on loyalty. It's specifically designed to protect the regime, and they purposely make it weak and disorganized, so that you as a Venezuelan soldier can't organize against the regime. Please listen to me, I don't want to insult you. Picture the following. In any other country that has an army, it's a pyramid. At the top, you have your generals, secretaries of defense. Below, you have a few generals, just a small number. And then thousands of soldiers, thousands. The more, the better. Venezuela's is not like that. It's a upright column. At the top, you have the dictatorship. And then they have 2,000 generals. 2,000. No country needs 2,000 generals. None. This is just to create chaos, so that you betray each other, so that you don't trust each other, spying on each other, and you can never organize yourselves against your dictatorship. Why do you want 2,000 generals in Venezuela? That's more than all of NATO. It's more than the United States, which has thousands of times more personnel. So you don't say you're fed up with this dictatorship. At the top you have the dictators, then you have this absurd number of generals, and that's where corruption comes in. They tell you you can steal the people's resources. That's why the army controls the ports, the factories, the mines. You can see it here in this earthquake. In the first 72 hours after the earthquake, the generals, the soldiers, are at their graduation, at their military ceremony. And the people, well, they're just left there, trapped under the rubble. And when they finally arrived, what did they come for? To help? No. They came to control the supplies, to hoard them for themselves, to take the televisions, the refrigerators. And then they give you this propaganda circus, where they're supposedly shoveling rubble, over there pretending to be clueless. Anyone could see the show they're putting on here. And this is the clearest picture I can give you of how disgusting it is. The Venezuelan government keeps your army weak on purpose so that they never rebel against them. They keep them corrupt on purpose so that any attack on the regime is an attack on their own wealth. And they keep them betraying each other to ensure that they will always stay in power. Venezuelan gentlemen, you need to overthrow your government. And you can't get help from the army, it has to be you. If you're a Chavista, Madurista, Chavista, excuse me, but this is disgusting. This thing about having an army just to protect you as a dictator. It's really cool, it works very well. You're at the top, well protected. Until you have a natural disaster like this. And that's when the army has to go and do what they're really supposed to do and not be licking your boots. And that's where it shows. Government incompetence and corruption. These poor guys in the Venezuelan army are not to blame. They're just as subjugated as the average Venezuelan. They simply have no orders to follow. They have no protocol. They have nothing. They're there to protect a dictator. And they're not trained to help the civilian population. I'm sorry again, I didn't mean to come here and criticize the country. Pero está muy inepto.
I'm grateful to the person. The earthquake isn't the government's fault, no.
What I can confirm to you 100% is that this government is incredibly inept.
How is it possible that such a rich country doesn't have enough machinery to rescue its women and children who are calling for help, trapped in there where you can still hear them? Even in African countries, they would have already rescued them. Not because they care about humanity, but because they want to score points. Politicians take advantage of any opportunity to look good, even if it's just for that. Here, they haven't even done it just to put on a show.
If a country wants to send aid, they charge tariffs, fees for helping. If you as a private individual want to send aid, they charge you too. Once that aid arrives, the army distributes it, quote unquote. They take it, they steal it. The little that was left in the houses, the army also looted. The government lets them engage in this looting because that's how they buy their loyalty. Well, I didn't expect any less considering how little they must be paid. And when I uploaded videos showing the looting they carry out, that idiot Diosdado Cabello, the president, is making videos about me. This idiot has nothing better to do. He has a country in misery and emergency, and he spends his time making videos about me just so people can see, just so they can see.
Low life, miserable 1,000 times over.
I came here to record because I've already shown you all the disaster, all the tragedy. I wanted to show you a part of the country that isn't destroyed, because the country itself has many beautiful areas. Let's start with the basics. They are more concerned about their international reputation, about how the world sees them, than about rescuing trapped people. Basically, this government says, I have a soldier, should I send him as a rescuer to try to move rubble? No. I sent him with a rifle to see who is speaking badly about me. Second, the resources. All the machinery you see in the videos is privately owned. It wasn't sent by the government. Censorship. This is the free press. It's real. It's real.
And am I not proof of that myself? I hadn't even been here for 24 hours when the army of Chavista YouTubers was already on top of me, attacking and slandering me. You can see on this page, Noticias Venezuela says, where they uploaded a fake image where, according to them, I was paid $1,200 on PayPal. The Venezuelan army is designed to protect the dictators. And they also have another army of inept people. These exiles, they are on social media making videos. Add to this the fact that Venezuelans are afraid. They live in constant fear. Many of them are terrified to speak out against the government. And here I'll show you why.
And that's why I tell you that those who weren't killed by the rebel were killed by negligence. I give Venezuelans a 10 out of 10. Nothing but respect. They are people who have it all. But their government is the worst piece of crap I've ever seen. It's worse than China. They get all the repression, oppression, and control they get in China with none of the progress. In China, at least, they get progress, infrastructure. Here is the worst of both worlds. The worst of authoritarianism and the worst of not being able to progress. That's why right now, Venezuelans are among the people in the world enduring some of the worst injustices that have ever existed. Some of the most unfair shortages and poverty that have ever existed. In countries where there are no resources, no water, no workforce, no fertile land, well, there is a scarcity. But in one of the richest territories in the world, the one with the most oil in the world, which is the engine of the world economy, is there so much scarcity just because of the negligence of his government? And please don't take this the wrong way or misunderstand me. I'm not saying that people here are complacent or that they're lazy or that they don't want to rebel against their government. I just want to show you what happens when you have hope. You say, maybe things will get better tomorrow. Maybe things will get better next month. This doesn't happen to people, to an entire nation overnight. It was a process that happened step by step. And they saw step one and said, wow, maybe it won't go any further than this. And then step two, and they said, oh wow, where are we going? But it gets better. And so on. Like those little frogs that you put in a bowl of boiling water. You put them in and they get burned and jump out. But if you leave them there and slowly turn up the heat, the little frog adapts until it's cooked. And that's what they did to them here. Again, I'm not saying they are complacent or that they don't take proactive action. I'm just telling you that this can happen to any society, to any country, and that's what's important. How important it is to identify these paths that governments take, because a government, whether left-wing or right-wing, can take this path, and they end up screwing over an entire country for generations. For Venezuelans, even if they were to achieve full democracy and freedom right now, it will take them generations to get back to where they were. And this is very sad, and it could have been identified, and it could have been avoided. I'm going to say it again, louder, for the Chavistas in the back. The Venezuelan people right now are among those suffering the most unjust shortages in the world. Here it goes again, even clearer, just to make sure you don't misunderstand me and my message gets through. To all the Chavistas, listen. The Venezuelan people right now are going through the most unjust subjugation in the Americas. They are facing one of the most unnecessary, destructive, and oppressive economic shortages, artificial and manufactured, anywhere in the world right now. And they don't deserve it. It's not fair. Something I'm noticing is that things are even more expensive than in Canada or the United States. How do Venezuelans pay for things at US prices or even higher? There it is, it's arriving. The coroner's van is the equivalent of the CEMEFO in Mexico. If you are a family member waiting for them to bring your loved one out of there, this is an image you don't want to see. Just look at the state it's in. Look!
That's how it is now. There used to be 14 floors here. 14. They're stacked together. Completely stacked together. If you have any chance of rescuing someone alive here, it's in the first 72 hours. The first 72 hours are crucial. After that, you only find a foul smell, and it's very difficult, very difficult. Look, check this out. The keys to a home that used to be a home. It's like this right now. The machinery just arrived today. It arrived today. After how many days? 14 days. After 14 days.
Before coming to Venezuela, I imagined everything.
I imagined I was going to find all kinds of things.
But something I never imagined finding is that there are Chavistas who would start attacking me for doing this. Showing you what it's really like here.
They're disgusting people. They're traitors to their own people.
And in the coming months, I'm going to try to expose them, their government, and above all, the suffering of the Venezuelan people, so that every Spanish-speaking brother who watches this video can join in and contribute a little bit to the pressure for this regime to fall, so that Venezuela can be freed from the cartel that is holding them hostage. May courage be with you, and see you next time.